Hello there and welcome to Bowls360. What an interesting round 17 we've just had. Had a lot of questions to answer after round 16, and round 17's done. A lot of those questions have been answered, so not much left in round 18, but still enough for us to keep our interest. Let's have a look at the scores. In Premier League, let's go through the scores there. Osborne Park home winners to Sorrento, 7 points to 1. Manning holding an 8-0 win over Safety Bay. Those two sides loving those big points. South Perth, a close contest there against, it wasn't close on 3 rinks anyway. 6-2 win there to South Perth. Mount Lawley also 6-2 winners over Cardinia, and Cambridge travelling to Doubleview and sewing up their position in the 8 with a 6-2 win there. Let's have a look at the ladder. No change from last week. Amazing, really. I think the top 5 sides, I haven't really looked at it. It looks like the top 5 sides played the bottom 5 sides, and the top 5 sides all winning, like we saw in Blue South a couple of weeks ago. So the top 5 sides now are the only ones that can play in the finals. Let's look at those points. We know that Matt Lawley is done and dusted on the top there, going for the Premier League record for the most number of points in a season. Cambridge with their win now 9 points clear of 5th place South Perth, so they are in the finals. Their interest next week is in the double chance second spot. We'll also have a look at the teams they play. We'll do that at the end of the video, so we'll discuss that more at length then. Osborne Park in 3rd, 77.5. Manning 4th, 76. South Perth 5th on 73. They're the only 5 sides in it now for those 4 positions. In reality, it's 3 positions into 2. Bassendean and Doubleview and Sorrento have done enough for the year to hold on to the Premier League. Cardinia and Safety Bay will go down. Let's look at the skippers. And Daniel Trella losing on the weekend sees him drop back in the 3rd spot. Corey Bassant now all on his own on 14 wins and 3 losses. The only interest in the skipper of the year will be a Matt Lawley rink. Which one will it be? If Corey loses, Ben Leggett and Daniel Trella win, then they'll need to catch up 20 odd shots in the process. Can be done, we'll never know. They've got a tough game too against Cambridge, so any result there. So that is an unknown, probably one of the few unknowns in Premier League at the moment. In whites, let's quickly look at the scores. Vic Park winning on 3 rinks, but unfortunately Coburn getting the job done there, 5 points to 3. Leeming at home against Bassendean, 7 points to 1. North Beach at home, very hard to beat there, defeating Gosnell 7 points to 1. Joondalup at home, but losing to the visiting Osborne Park, who the club seem to be on a bit of a tear at the moment. So well done to the Saints there. And Manning also travellers to Osborne Park and winning 6 points to 2. Not a good result for Mozzies, very good for Manning. Let's look at the ladder. Leeming in top spot there on 83.5, Coburn on 81. They're the only 2 teams that can take out the automatic promotional spot there. That is certainly a bit of an unknown. We'll see who they play in a minute. Joondalup in 3rd, Manning in 4th, Osborne Park 5th, North Beach in 6th. They both move up a spot, and Mosman Park drop back 2 spots in 7th. There's only 6 points separating those 5 teams. Interestingly, probably with the exception of Joondalup, but certainly any losses from Manning to Mosman Park could see them drop to that playoff position that Mosman Park currently hold. So the 4 of those sides will be looking to win. Vic Park cannot get out of the playoff zone, but Gosnell's 4.5 points shy of them, could leapfrog them to stave off the automatic demotion. So there's a bit to play for those 2 teams. Bassendean will be in Blue North next year. The skippers in 1 white. Jeremy Thomas there in front at the moment on 12 wins, but it's pretty tight. Lisa Featherby can overtake him. If Jeremy loses, then Lisa can and wins. There's a 22 shot there difference to make up. It can be done. It would be certainly a feather in Lisa's cap if she does it. Mitch Cranswick, Carl Vandersloot, Paul Smith and Billy Fraser on 10 wins there. A good season for those rinks. In Blue North, North Perth have sewn up top spot with their 7-1 win over Quinns Rocks. Doubleview travelling to Sorrento, and a real upset there, isn't it? 7-1. That's the bottom side. Doubleview, who will be relegated, defeating the third place Sorrento. Sorrento would have been looking to win that to try and shore up that spot there, but they haven't, so they've got a bit to play for this week. Cambridge at home, 8-0 winners over Mount Lawley, in a big result there for Mount Lawley and Cambridge. Yokine 8-0 over Wanneroo. That's also a good result. Those two losses to Wanneroo and Sorrento ensured North Perth the top spot. And North Beach travelling to Warwick. They don't win too many away from home, the North Beach team, but they did on this occasion. 6.5 points to 1.5 points there. The ladder, we see Quinns Rocks and Mount Lawley swap positions. Warwick dropped 2 spots, overtaken by Cambridge and Yokine. As discussed, North Perth will take out the top spot there in Blue South and get the promotion. Well done to North Perth there. I'm sure they would have celebrated pretty hard at the club on Saturday night. Wanneroo on 79.5 and Sorrento on 76. There's 7.5 points between Quinns Rocks and Sorrento. Wanneroo will be one of the teams in the playoff game, and it's likely to be Sorrento. They only need to win on one rink this week to make sure of that other promotional spot. So really what Quinns Rocks are playing for is more behind them. 68.5 points, and Warwick on 65, only 3.5 points there. Anything can happen this weekend in round 18 with those 5 sides, so a bit of a lottery as to what might happen there. Very intriguing. North Beach and Doubleview will be demoted. There is 7 points between North Beach and Warwick. A miracle could happen. They get an 8-0 and either Yokine or Warwick get 0. Can't see it happening. He is at home for North Beach, so you never know, but unlikely. Where are we up to? The skippers. Shane Smith will take out the leading skipper in Blue North. Well done to Shane there from Quinns Rocks. Your rink have had a very, very good year. Kingsley Tosser in second spot at the moment with 12 wins. Brian Ledingham, David Anderson on 11, and Marcus Mertz, David Dunstan and Ben Horwood on 10 wins. And finally we go to Blue South. And the results there: Rockingham travelling to Cardinia and come away with 6 points to 2. Coburn at home, 7.5 to a half winners to over Rossmoyne. Dalkeith travelling to Thornley to win 6 points to 2. Very vital points for Dalkeith. Willerton winning on one rink, but that was enough to win by one shot over Kalamunda 5-3, and Forestfield 6-2 winners over Warnborough. Let's look at the ladder. Not much change at the top of the ladder. Dalkeith and Forestfield move up with their wins. Rossmoyne and Warnborough drop down. Kalamunda finish on top of Blue South. So well done to my old team, the Cougars. Well done, Calla. You'll be in white next year. You'll be playing North Perth for the blue flag at whatever venue that might be. Cardinia second on 85 and Coburn third on 80. I think with, 7.5 points difference between Cardinia and Willerton, I'm pretty sure Cardinia will be one of those sides fighting for the other promotional spot. The third promotional spot could come from Coburn, Willerton or Rockingham. It'll only be out of those 3 teams. 4.5 points separating Coburn to Rockingham. So a lot of interest, a bit of interest there. Down near the bottom, Thornley on 48. Warnborough 53, Rossmoyne 54.5, Forestfield 56, and Dalkeith 58. There's 10 points between Dalkeith and Thornley, but there's only 5 points between the second bottom place Warnborough to Dalkeith. So amongst those bottom 5 sides, and only 6.5 points from Thornley to Rossmoyne. So those 5 sides have got a lot to play for this week. And let's look at the skippers. And Billy Bransmo takes out the Blue South Skipper of the Year. He's had a great season, 15 wins and 1 loss and a draw, plus 145. So well done, Billy. Steve Sahoy may finish second on 12 wins. Alan Walters third on 11, and Cam Gervin, James Wiley, Darren Radekis there also in multiple figure wins. So let's look at our this week's games quickly. Premier League, what can happen here? So we know Mount Lawley are playing Cambridge. They can finish on top, no doubt about that. Cambridge are looking for that vital second spot double chance. So they are 5.5, no, 4.5 clear of third place Osborne Park. So they effectively need 3 points. If they win on 3 rinks against Mount Lawley, you think they're probably going to win the aggregate. So effectively, Cambridge winning against Mount Lawley will shore up that second spot. If Osborne Park travel to Bassendean and win 8-0, they go to 85.5. So any loss to Cambridge will see Osborne Park leapfrog them. Same with Manning, 8 points to them, and a loss to Cambridge may see them also take out that vital second spot double chance. But South Perth are right on the hammer of Aussie Park and Manning. If either of those two sides lose and South Perth win down at Cardinia, then they will overtake either of those two sides. So Osborne Park and Manning, Manning travelling to Sorrento, Aussie Park to Bassendean. Not easy games, but certainly winnable for those two sides in the finals. And like a football analogy, if you expect to be playing finals, you would think those two sides should be travelling and winning those games. So they've got a lot to play for there, and nothing to note down the bottom of the ladder. Cardinia and Safety Bay are gone. The white, Leeming and Coburn, the two sides they'd look for. Leeming will travel to Aussie Park and Coburn at home to North Beach. Looking at that draw, you'd think Coburn have a very good home ground record. North Beach have a very bad away record. You would expect Coburn to win. So Leeming have got a 2.5 point buffer there, trailing to Osborne Park. If they win, they'll finish on top. If they lose, even 2 points or 3 will, even if Coburn win. Now Leeming probably need to win, don't they, really? So a big game there for Leeming travelling to Osborne Park. Osborne Park got a lot to play for too. Joondalup on 75, Manning 73.5, Aussie Park 73, North Beach 70, Mozzie Park 69. All 5 of those sides with lots to play for. Joondalup playing Manning, so you'd think the winner of that game will be assured of a final spot. The loser won't. Osborne Park, as we mentioned, at home against Leeming, so they've got a lot to play for. North Beach, as discussed, probably won't make it. But Gosnells travelling to Osborne Park, travelling to Gosnells. Gosnells in the 9th position there. Them losing this week, Mozzie Park did themselves no favours. Another few points to them, and they'd be looking to play in 4th spot. But they've just got to win to try and stay out of that final relegation playoff game against the Blue South team probably. Who knows? That will be interesting to watch. The Blue North, North Perth, as we mentioned, they will finish on top. They are playing W, the bottom team, so those two teams, nothing to play for there. We could see a bit of rink changes with those two sides. Who knows? You could put them in a hat and draw them out and see what happens, because the result is of no consequence. Wanneroo are playing Sorrento at home. That's 2nd versus 3rd, so the winner of that team, even though Wanneroo are assured of a final spot, the winner of that game will certainly be assured of it. So Sorrento can travel to Wanneroo and win, then those two teams will be the other 2 spots. If Sorrento lose and Quinns Rocks win 8-0, Sorrento lose 8-0, then Quinns Rocks could overtake them. Really, that's probably not going to happen. So you'd think Wanneroo and Sorrento will finish 2nd and 3rd. In what order, probably doesn't matter. I think it's a neutral venue, so the 2nd or 3rd doesn't matter there. The interest of Quinns Rocks really is with that 8th placed Warwick, only 3.5 points there. So the more, as we mentioned before, those 5 teams, Quinns Rocks at home against Cambridge, Cambridge sitting in 6th at the moment, so the winner of that team will do enough. Mount Lawley at home against Warwick, they're in 8th. They're another one of those teams playing off for that, so the winner of that game will do enough to save themselves. And Yokine playing North Beach, the 9th place team, away from home, which is not easy to win at. So the loser of those other games, and probably Yokine, will be 2 of those 3 teams will be playing off to stay in Blue North. And finally in Blue South, next week we see Kalamunda playing Coburn at home in a bit of a nothing game for Kalamunda, but Coburn got everything to play for. Cardinia can't finish outside of the finals, I don't think, looking at that. Willetton are What's that? Oh no, they're 8.5 behind. So Cardinia is safe in the top 2 or 3. Coburn aren't. So, but they're 3.5 clear of fourth. So probably 2 or 3 points may get the job done for Coburn. They could lose 8-0 at Kalamunda. Who knows? Kalamunda are a strong team at home. Willetton and Rockingham and Coburn. Really, it's only out of those 3 teams for that final 1 position. Willetton away to Warnbro. That'll be a tough game. Warnbro are no easy beats at home, even despite their position on the ladder. And Rockingham will play the home side, Thornley, at Rockingham. So you'd think Rockingham will probably get the job done there against the 10th place Thornley with nothing to play for. So there you have it, the round 17 wash up with 1 week to go in the first division pennants this year, and then the finals. It should be a really interesting weekend, a hot week ahead, a fairly warm weekend next weekend. So until then, we'll see you all later. Bye.